Hello and welcome to the show. Well, we've got a great show planned for you. You know, I'm so excited because this is Women's History Month. And of course, this week was a day of Women's International Day and then sisters, celebrating sisters. But you know, this year on the Tammy Show, I talk about new beginnings because this is our new beginnings series for the whole year. That's what we're talking about. So when we talk with guests, you're going to hear about their new beginnings. You're going to hear about what they're doing in their lives and making a difference in the community. But this month, as I said, is Women's History Month. We are talking with Miss Shanika Aiken. So we are celebrating Shanika Aiken today as our Woman of this week. And so I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because you know what's happening next. We'll be right back. Join us at the Ultimate Bridal Experience Sunday, July 23rd, 2023 at the Orangeburg County Conference Center from 1 to 4 p.m. Become an exhibitor or get your tickets. A large gathering of a variety of local and regional wedding vendors, wedding professionals, fashion show, prizes, and more. Join us for the Ultimate Bridal Experience Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Well, I told you we've got a great show planned for you. You know, this is Women's History Month, and it's all about celebrating women this whole month. And I wanted to celebrate some people who have been doing some wonderful things in the community, just have some great stories to share with us, inspiring stories. And so this woman for this particular week is a motivational speaker. Now, she's a wife. She's a nonprofit instructor, a youth empowerment leader from Orangeburg, South Carolina. She is the founder and executive director of SAFE organization. And more importantly, I have a new sister, a new friend. And her name is Miss Shanika Aiken. And so, Shanika, we're celebrating you. Come on out, my darling.
Hello. How are you all? Or how should I say, how are you tonight?
We are doing well. I'm doing well. The team is here and everybody's doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing well. First and foremost, thank you so much for thinking of me to be a part of Women's History Month. It's no short thing that you would consider someone like me. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I love you.
Well, you know, you have it from the bottom of my heart. As we are talking about who's going to be on the show and who we'd like to highlight, and I couldn't think of anybody but you. You know, you told me your story, you shared your story. And so I want people to realize that you are an extraordinary woman. You know, as we say, ordinary doing extraordinary things, but you're a phenomenal woman. You're an amazing woman, and you've been doing so much in the community, but they don't know your story. They see your glory, but they don't know your story. So, Shanika, we're going to get right to it, girl. Let's talk about Miss Shanika Aiken.
Yes, absolutely. Again, thank you for the opportunity. But you said it right. They may see the glory, but they don't know the story. The story stems back for over 20 years when I was just a little teenager. Thought she was something, thought she was grown, and ended up in DJJ. Yeah,
Mm,
me.
wow.
Yeah, ended up in DJJ because I didn't want to go to school. Hated school. I had friends who were older than me, so I like to hang out and have fun and have a good time. And because they were older than me, they were not in school, and so I wanted to hang out with them and be the cool person. But none of that worked for me. So I ended up going to the Department of Juvenile Justice, and I didn't spend one time there. I got sent there twice for
Mm,
truancy, and truancy means that when you don't go to school, guess what? The government will make you go to school.
that's right.
And so that's the humble beginnings for me was that part in when I had to go to the Department of Juvenile Justice. It was a very scary, surreal moment there. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm sure we'll talk about some of the things that came out of that. But yeah, that was a humble beginning for me going to DJJ. Yes, of course.
Wow. Well, what would you, if you had to talk to your younger self now, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, I would tell my younger self that you are loved. You are loved. You are important. You don't have to look outside of yourself to be validated. You are enough and you are beautiful. That's what I would tell my younger self. My
Mm,
younger self was uh, so, what's the word I'm looking for? So insecure, not confident, have
mhm.
very low self-esteem. And so when people or men would tell me I was pretty, I took that in as I was pretty, not knowing that I was pretty whether they told me or not. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so
Mhm.
my younger self didn't know any better. But I'm so glad to be where I
Mm.
am today. So
Wow.
glad.
And who during that time would you say was a motivational person in your life that helped you to move to the next level from leaving DJJ?
That's a very good question because when I got out of DJJ, I was still surrounded by old friends. So
Mm,
my company
change.
didn't change. I
Mhm.
came back and I had old friends that had the same mindset. So I came out doing almost the same things that I was. So
Mhm.
I didn't really have any motivation. However, I had a probation officer that would keep track of me and my sister, and every so often she would call and check on us and see how we were doing. And so that was that maybe that one person that would check on me to make sure that I was good was my
Mhm.
my old probation officer, and we are still in contact today.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I know she's proud of you. What was the turning point in your life that turned you 360 degrees? Or was it 180 and then 360?
It was a 180. My grandmother.
Mm,
My grandmother looked at me one day, and I was at this time again. I'm a teenager. I'm getting high. I'm on
mm,
drugs. I'm
mhm,
ripping and running the streets. And for some apparent reason, it to her, I didn't seem like I looked like myself. And she looked at me. She said, "What's wrong?" And I was kind of puzzled. I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. But I went to the mirror after she said that, and I said, I will never look like this again.
mm,
And I didn't see the outward so much, but my spirit was like,
mhm,
oh my God. And so that was
mhm,
that was a turning point when my grandmother looked at me and was like, what's wrong? Like this is not you. This is
mhm,
this is this is not you. This is something different. And
mhm,
after that, I start getting a hunger for God and
mm,
seeking the Lord. and crying out for help on the inside. I used to sneak and read my Bible. I was getting high, but I was
Mm-hmm.
because I was hungry for God.
Mm-hmm.
I would go sneak and read my Bible, and so when my friends came around or my my peers would come around, I would hide the Bible. I didn't want people to know that I was seeking Him
Mm-hmm.
because I still
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be cool.
Cool.
I
Mm-hmm.
still wanted to hang out. I still wanted to
Mm-hmm.
party and that sort of thing. But one day, and I'm sure we'll get to the rest of this testimony, but one day my life forever changed just by that one encounter with my grandmother. And then after that, things started turning around for me.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, Shanika, I'm glad you shared. And thank you so much for being so transparent because one of the things is that people don't realize, like I said, they see what you're doing now and the great things that are happening and how you are working in the community and helping young women. But what they don't know is that backstory. And so, again, I applaud you and I thank you so much for being so transparent. I want to, because, this show is going to move and you know how we do. And so I want to talk with you about the journey and you starting SAFE, SAFE.
Yes. So again, the journey started after me leaving the Department of Juvenile Justice. My experience there was one that I would never forget. It was overcrowded when I was there. So
Mhm.
at one particular time, I was sleeping on a mat on the floor. And so when girls would transition out, when a girl transitioned out, I was able to get into a bed. I mean, it was overcrowded.
Mm.
And I saw myself in so many of the girls, so much hurt, so much pain, so much disappointment. And when I really came to myself, I said, I never want any other young lady to feel what I went through. So my experience as a teenager was the driving force, or is the driving force of why I started the SAFE organization for girls ages 11 through 17,
Mhm.
because I can identify with that young lady at the age of 11 that don't have a father or don't have a father figure,
Mhm.
or your father is deceased. I can identify with her. I can identify with her when your strong male role model, which is your grandfather, he dies. So you have a father that is deceased, you have a grandfather that is deceased, and it feel like the strength of the family is now gone, right?
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
can
Mhm.
identify with the young lady that is looking for love in all the wrong places. So the backstory for Safe is my when I was
Yes.
in CJJ, my
Wow.
struggle. Yeah.
Wow. And,
And
and
so
what does and you know what, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, because as you were talking and saying safe, I'm seeing you on that mat on the floor, and that's not safe. But what does safe stand for?
SAFE stands for promoting self-esteem, advocacy, faith, and education in the lives of today's youth. So the S is for self-esteem, the A is for advocacy, the F is for faith, and the E is for education. And those are our guiding principles for the organization. Those are
Wow.
our driving forces for our youth.
Look at that. A woman that didn't like school, but in your organization, you all about education. How about that? And as we're talking about that, because one of the things that you do so well is you mentor young women and girls. Talk about the importance of mentorship today for women and girls.
Mentorship is very important. I believe if I had someone that would have undergirded me,
Hmm.
spoken to my life, spoken to my destiny, that could have been a big sister to me, I believe that it would have curtailed some of the things that I've been through. So I know the importance of just walking alongside a young lady and listening, not necessarily
Hmm.
saying anything,
That's
letting her get it all out. Being there, her support system, uh, going to her activities if she has activities, if she's in extracurricular, because some of these young ladies don't have people that can come to her game, can come to her recital, or whatever the case may be. And so we are there to do that, to be that support system to them.
them. You know, Shanika, we're going to come right back because we're going to take a break. But when we come back, I want to talk about some of the barriers to female empowerment and some of the things that we need to be doing moving forward and how we can help save. Okay. So we'll
Yes.
be right back. Folks, we'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
My name is Randy Dantrell Heath, and you are watching The Tammy Show.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, if you're just joining us, I'm talking with Ms. Shanika Aiken, founder of Safe Organization, nonprofit instructor, wife, just a phenomenal woman and a mentor to young women. And so, you know, Shanika, as we were leaving, and thank you again so much for sharing your story, as we were going to the commercial, I said I wanted to ask you a question about barriers. And what do you think is the most significant barrier to female empowerment right now?
I can only think of one, and that is called collaboration. I believe that if we would tear down the I and join collectively as women, and not allow it to be all about me, I believe that we can be more forceful. I think we are stronger together when we collaborate and bring joint efforts in. So it doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as God gets the glory.
Come on. Wow.
So I can collaborate with anybody and my name doesn't have to be on the program.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be, because at the end of the day, it's about God getting the glory.
Exactly.
So, you know, I can work from behind the scenes, and as long as God is getting the glory, that's all that. But the barrier that you asked me about is collaboration. Yeah, we have to collaborate with one another.
And you know what? It's something that you would say that, because as I think about it, we don't. And I don't understand why we as women, especially as Black women, we have the opportunity to really be a force to reckon with. And if we don't start complimenting each other and stop tearing each other down, and even if you're doing some of the same things, just pull it together, as you said, and collaborate. Let's talk about girls' empowerment, because Girl Empowerment Day is very special to you, and I love it. Talk about that.
Girl Empowerment Day is my heart. I remember when I was very young, living in New York, every year we had a summer camp, we had the YMCA, we had different places that we can go to have summer fun. But when I moved to South Carolina, there was no summer fun at that time. So I'm like, what can we do to bring some summer fun to these young ladies and also empower them, inspire them, and educate them? What can we do? And so the board and I, we got together and said, let's do Girl Empowerment Day. Let's uplift and encourage and inspire these young girls to be all that they can be, and let's bring in people that can uplift them and have a different skill set, and let them see other women in power. Let them see other women doing things. So last year we had a different range of young ladies that joined us. One was a designer. We wanted to let them see that you can be a designer. We had a young lady that is a chef. We wanted to see that you can be a chef. You can have culinary skills. We had a funeral director. Now that may have scared some, but I wanted them to see that you can be whatever you want to be. And then we had one of our very own young ladies that's a photographer. So we tried to bring different young ladies that have different skill sets, that give them an example that you can do the same thing or anything that you want to do.
Yep. If you see it, you can believe it. You can do it. And so, Tiana, let's pull up some of those pictures, because you brought some pictures with you as well, Shanika, and we want to see. This is in the county council. Look at that.
Yep, that was the city council on Tuesday night. Yes, that was city council. And so this is the youth, the three girls, it's actually four, but the three girls that are in the Youth Advisory Council, we formulated this particular group so that they can spearhead some activities and give us guidance. A lot of times we don't know what they want. So why not bring in the young folks that know exactly what activities you want to do, what is relevant in your age group, how can we better serve you?
That's
and
right.
So with the leadership team, they are doing a phenomenal job. Yes.
And then you brought another picture as well. Oh, now that was girls empowerment. That's what I know. Wow.
Yes. We had such a wonderful time. I met some new young girls and that never been a part of the program. They met friends. They made friends. It was just, and it was this was the first time since COVID that we've been together.
Right.
You know, my heart was just overwhelmed just to see them and having fun and playing games and meeting friends, and it was just so good.
Yeah, and you had a lot of women, and I can say that because it was at the Orangeburg County Conference Center. Okay,
Yes,
that people just saw. So listen, you've got an event coming up, and I want you to kind of talk about that because it's a roundtable talk. Tell us about that. Let's show that, Tiana.
So yes, we're having a roundtable talk on April the 22nd at Right Direction Church International, 990 Wellington Drive. The whole purpose behind having this roundtable talk is to talk on the topic of mental health awareness, specifically in the African American community. You said, well, Shanika, why do you want to talk about the African American community? Because we don't talk about mental health. We shy away from the topic of mental health.
That's right.
You know, we and you and I know we pray. They tell us to pray everything away, but then sometimes you may need help. You may need to see a counselor. There are other avenues, or there are resources out there that can help you. But if you don't know about it, if you don't talk about it, then how will you know? So we just don't want to have a talk about it. We are bringing in agencies such as the mental health, Orangeburg Mental Health will be there. Behavioral health from TRMC will be there. Then we will have some mental health professionals that will be there. So there's going to be help there. If there's anybody that's struggling, a child, a male, anybody. And I know we specifically said African Americans, but anybody that needs help or direction for that day, or excuse me, not help and direction, but if they need assistance will be in the house on that day.
Wow. That's amazing, because as you said, in our community, in the African American community, that's one of the things that we don't talk about. We say, oh,
Absolutely.
child, keep that in the house. What goes on in the house stays in the house.
Absolutely.
Uncle Johnny, he may be a low off, but ain't nothing wrong with him. Child, he been like that all his life, and those are the kinds of things that we hear. And unfortunately, as you said, we need to talk about it more. We need to be about the business of helping our sisters and our brothers.
Absolutely.
Shanika, we're running out of time, but I do want to ask you, what advice do you have for young women who want to be entrepreneurs and who want to be another Shanika Aiken?
All right. Well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can be an entrepreneur. All you got to do is get started. It takes you with a dream. Then you're gonna write down. Then you're gonna write down your vision. What do you see for yourself? What do you see for what do you see for your business? And then you'll write a mission statement. This is what I'm going to accomplish in my business. But to all of the young ladies out there that desire to have a business or multiple business, you can do that. I say to you, just get started. Write it down. Jot it down. Get a journal. Write down all of your ideas in your journal. And step by step, take one step each day. If it's no more than picking up the phone and calling a mentor or calling someone and inquiring about the kind of entrepreneurship that you want to go into. For instance, if you want to do hair, then maybe try to reach out to a cosmetologist.
That's right.
That already, just take one step at a time. Write it down, journal it, and take one thing off of your journal at a time. And last but certainly not least, pray.
Amen.
Because I believe in the power of prayer. And I'll say this, and this will be my ending. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. But in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall
and will
direct your path.
That's right. That's right. Come on, Proverbs. Proverbs 3:5-6. Yes, ma'am. One of my favorite scriptures. Shanika, what's next for you?
Oh, what's next? We are with the nonprofit organization. We're still growing. And so with that, we are building or adding more people to the team so that we can do more things. We can't do it by ourselves. So we're now having more volunteers to volunteer with us so that we can do more outreach. We are continuing to work with the schools closely. We do Girl Circle with the schools. And so we will continue that relationship and that partnership with the school district. And we will also continue doing what we do for our youth. And that is serving them with all of our hearts.
Wow. Shanika, we're going to show all of your social media, the website, and your email, and how people can get in touch with you, because I think it's important that the community reach out to you and help you. As you said, you need volunteers. Now, let me ask you this. What 3 words that describe you, Shanika?
All right. So I think I have to go back to the 3 that I gave you before, which is considerate. I am definitely considerate of other people's feelings. I make sure that I don't do or say anything that would be detrimental to someone. So I'm always considering what I say before I say it. Lovable. I love people. I love to see people prosper. I love to see people prosper. And I would say a giver. A giver. I truly,
Yes, you are.
I thank God for the what is it called? The ministry of helps. I believe that's what God has called me.
That's right.
But I wasn't always like that. But
wow. Look at that. Shanika, thank you so much for being our Woman of the Week. And I just ask that God continue to bless you. And listen, if there's anything that I can do or we can do here on the show, the team, please let us know.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. And may God continue to bless you.
Thank you, Shanika. Love you, my darling.
Love you too, dear.
All right. Okay. See you later.
Okay.
All right. Listen, I tell you what a great show. Shanika Aiken, thank you so much for being on the show. And we showed all of her Facebook page. You can, Shanika Aiken Empowerment Coach, Instagram, Coach Shanika Aiken, the website, www.thesafeorg.info. But I want to thank you, viewers, for always tuning in. Next week, we're going to be talking and continuing our Women's History Month. And we're going to have Wendy Brawley. She is TV host, CEO, owner of Amara Magazine, former South Carolina State Representative, House of Representatives. She's going to be on. We're going to be talking about a collaboration. That's just what you said, Shanika, the collaboration that she and I are having on this leadership summit coming up. So I want to thank our producers, Alicia, assistant producer Tiana, Willie, and Felicia. I love you all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to the Tammy TV show. All you have to do is just hit the subscribe button. That is the Tammy TV show. And I want you all to continue. Let's be a blessing to somebody. I say it continuously. Let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. Remember that. So until the next time, take care of yourself, and thank you again for tuning in. Have a great week. Bye-bye.